ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವರೆ Hyderabad Express Railway Station Netaji Bhavan.
Was that really SRH or was that an imposter of a batting lineup? 162 from the most dangerous batting lineup in this league. 162 for 5 off their 20. Abhishek Sharma, scratch innings. Henrik Larsson was on a form-finding mission. Travis had 28, but crucial runs towards the end from young Aniket Verma, and the captain hitting that 6 in the last over as well has given Hyderabad 162. No overs from Karan Sharma. Will Jacks bowl the 3 overs? Is 162 enough or not? We'll find out on Voltas presents Cricbuzz live from Bhattacharjya and Simon Doull. Simon, first up, good call from MI and whoever decided to give SRH a pitch like this.
Absolutely, yeah, fantastic. Whether they wanted it or not, it has sort of suppressed what we think is a very powerful top 3-4. The ball stuck in the surface a bit. The spinner, I say the spinner because Santner only bowled 1 over. Yep. Really, Jacks bowled beautifully. We saw the slower balls gripping into the pitch. So, as I said in the com box, whoever stuck the pen in the wicket got it spot on.
I was thinking about the pen. That's the only thing I was thinking about. That's it. That's what we've all gone on. That one pen has made all the difference.
Viru on our Hindi broadcast predicted 297. Clearly, I think those who've been doing pitch reports need to do better. But today they got it right, Joy.
Yeah, they got it right. And look, I think it's a very interesting thing because if you see how they played, what's most interesting for me is the fact that they did not lose wickets.
Yeah.
And yet they couldn't get away. Yeah. They played cautiously. They did not lose wickets. So I think the first wicket fell at 61.
Yeah.
It was all that late. That means they had time to see. But one of the things you see is that, once the pitch starts playing games with you, then even when it's not playing games, you're sort of tentative.
Yeah.
So when a full toss and Klassen can't put away a full toss, you know that in his head now, a full toss, where does the pitch come into play? But in your head, then something. And when you see in the end what Aniket Verma did in his limited innings, or even Cummins swung the ball, or even what Klassen did in the last over that he batted, there is a certain amount definitely in the pitch, but there was a certain amount where the pitch actually messed with their heads, I feel. Yeah,
it's a bit difficult for the lay cricket viewer to accept the fact that SRH can't get rid of those full tosses and hit them for 4s or 6s. I think we saw about 5 or 6 such deliveries, which couldn't give them more than a run.
Yeah, you end up trying too hard because you're struggling with the nature of the surface. So when you get something that looks like a freebie, that should be a freebie in modern day T20 cricket, you end up trying to hit it too hard and sort of forget about the time. And the easiest thing to do on this pitch from a batting point of view is to just lose your confidence and your shape by trying to overhit the ball. Look, it's not an easy surface. I don't know that they've got quite enough, but I think they're probably 10 or 15 short. I think 175, 180, I would say they were well and truly in the game. They might make this enough, 162, but I don't think it's an easy pitch to bat on. Because new ball sliding on. If the dew does happen, it might slide on a bit more, which will be to Mumbai's advantage.
And SRH doesn't really have a very potent bowling lineup. They've probably been the worst in this league, so advantage MI straight away.
No, you have to say advantage MI definitely. I mean, there's no doubt in my head that advantage is MI. But, some of the things you look at, how many days, I can promise you, there'll be plenty of occasions where Travis Head is out early, okay? Very few occasions where he's played 29 balls and his strike rate is below 100.
Not even in the nets.
28 out of 20. That's something. That he's played 29 balls. It's not a small amount of balls he's played. And his strike rate is still not at 100. Tells you a little bit about where he is and what he thought the pitch was doing. And then just he could not get himself out of it. And in that, he got caught 3 times before he got out.
Yes, a couple of drop catches. In fact, there was a dropped off the first delivery as well.
No, that was Abhishek. But he first gets caught. It's a no ball. Free hit comes, he hits it straight down the throat of the fielder, gets caught again. Then finally has to get caught a 3rd time. With all that going your way, if you're still not able to strike, there's something there.
Just wondering if batters can deal with such situations better. Or is it too late because you're mentally in a certain zone where you want to bat in 5th gear and you're just somehow unable to be more realistic and play accordingly. There were 39 dot balls today.
Yeah, 39 sort of around about just maybe touch above average. If from a bowling point of view, if you can bowl between 35 and 45, you've done a really good job in general terms.
Yeah.
From a batting point of view, if you're under 30, it's a great innings.
Yeah.
You'll see a reasonable high score if you're under 30 dot balls from a batting point of view. But yeah, look, there are possibly times where they could have looked to find gaps and find the ones and twos, but the scoreboard pressure of not having the runs was probably playing on their mind a little bit as well. And even, so what happens on a really good surface, when you play a nice forward defensive shot or a forward push, it races off the bat because it comes onto the bat nicely, so it comes off the bat nicely.
Yeah.
When it sticks in the pitch, it's harder to pierce the gaps in the field.
Yeah.
And so therefore you don't see the amount of twos and ones that you probably would on a really good surface. So from a batting point of view, it's hard to actually just force those ones as it is to find the boundaries.
46 in the power play. Ishan Kishan came in at number 3 and tries to go down the track and hit Will Jacks for a 6, gets out stumped. Was that shot a function of how the power play went? Less than 8 and over, Simon?
Yep, probably. He's an aggressive player by nature. He's looking to get on with it. You have to assess things at different stages through an innings, and he's probably he's looking for a boundary. That's what he's looking for. It was a little bit rash. It was a wide-ish one. Just picked the wrong ball to go down the pitch to.
There's a question that Harsha asked on the broadcast. He said, would you take 46 for no loss after the 6 overs, or would you want to be 74 for 2?
I mean, look, this conversation, again, it so depends on the kind of pitch that you're playing on.
Yeah.
And the fact that they lasted out the power play, they would be thinking that, they have the batters. See, there's one problem that I feel SRH has, and that's structural. And the structural problem is the fact that they have Pat Cummins batting at 7, which means you have 6 batters. 6 batters have to do it. So the point is, they can't also take, now they've got burnt 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
They can't also take too many chances. You know what I mean? If you look at what Klaasen did in that over, when he finally freed himself, he went for 20.
Yeah.
I feel he didn't think he could take a chance earlier because there wasn't that much batting to follow. And there's Aniket Verma, and then there's immediately after that there's Pat Cummins. And Pat Cummins is long handle. I mean, he's not not in this format, he's not a batter.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you make your batting lineup smaller, okay, even on paper, it restricts mentally. It tells you that I can't take chances, so many chances this early.
Can they rearrange the pieces? Aniket Verma, once again, impressive cameo. A couple of 6s for him, 18 of 8. And Nitish Kumar Reddy continues to be patchy in this IPL. Is there a case to bat Aniket Verma at 4?
Well, I believe the first thing I would do is move Klaasen to 4.
Okay.
Look, we showed his numbers, we showed his strike rate. Give him more time. Give him more time at the crease to get in.
Yeah.
And if you're 2 down early, so be it.
Sure.
So be it. Just give him a bit more time to get in. But I don't think the Nitish Kumar Reddy experiment has really worked.
Yeah.
I think he's a good striker. I think he's a very good cricketer, Nitish Kumar. But is he a number 4 in a T20 lineup? I mean, you look around India and you say, who are the best sort of Indian players, Indian number 4s? I mean, he wouldn't be in the top 10.
Yeah.
Going around the tournament at the moment. With all due respect, at 6, you would say, good option.
Yeah.
Bowls you some overs, can hit it out of the park, comes in with a bit more of a free license than coming in having to be a genuine batter.
Yeah.
In that situation, you paid all that money for Klaasen, and you're kind of hiding him at 5.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Big money player.
Totally.
Your highest priced batter in your squad, and you're hiding him down at number 5. And I use hiding in the right sort of terms. He doesn't want to hide.
Yeah.
He wants to be out there batting.
Yeah.
And they bought Kishan for a reason. I get that. But Klaasen at 4, at least at 4, that's the lowest possible number he should be batting.
Top 4 should be your best, or do you spread it out?
No. Look, this is a front-loading format. T20 cricket is a front-loading format. You get the guys who can score the fastest runs at 1, 2, 3 and 4.
Yeah.
You have to. This is not test match cricket that you hold the guy back at 6 and he's going to anchor an innings.
Yeah.
You don't have time. It's 20 overs. And on average, number 7 batsman a couple of years back, bats on average 6 to 7 balls in innings. That's what it is. So that's what it comes down to. But the fact of it is, you've already turned it around because, when we're talking about balance, by Kamindu Mandis was coming in at 7 or was coming in at 6 or wherever, meant that actually then Pat Cummins was coming in at 8 because they had that extra batter. Yeah. His going out and bringing in Malinga in place of him has changed the dynamics of the team. And I believe if you look at it, what he said about Klaasen. Now, if Klaasen comes in earlier and he faces these 28 balls earlier and he has more time to load up, he might have gone for a, you might have got 15, 20 runs more out of him. So I think you've got to give your best players the maximum opportunities to score.
Also, one batter shot means there's a lot more to do for the top three, and at times it'll come off, at times it won't. And SRH is perhaps looked at as a team that will either go 250 or 160 like we've seen today. Now, MI, a huge blow for them very early in the innings because their player of the match in that last game, Karan Sharma, got injured, couldn't bowl, and Simon Willjacks ended up bowling 3, bowled really well. The best bowler out today, along with Hardik Pandya, who's bowling those slower bouncers, those cutters. What do you make of Willjacks bowling 3?
Well, look at those 3 there. Bolt, Bumrah, Jacks all going at, 7.25. Bolt, Bumrah at 5.25. Just superb. But Willjacks was a real bonus for them. Left-handers, so they obviously felt that he was a good option to the left-handers. They left Santner till quite late. I think Reddy and Klaasen, when Santner bowled as 1 over, so he came on with the right-handers. And I was really impressed with Willjacks. The one thing I say about all... I use the word part-time with all due respect. I think he is better than that. But when you try and give it a rip, and he tries to spin the ball, big hands, strong fella, and he really tries to spin the ball. So even if he does drag the odd one down or bowl the odd bad ball, it's still actually turning, or he's trying to turn it. And I think that's one of the big keys. Don't just come up and roll your arm over. Really try and give it a rip. So if you're a batter in the top 3, 4, 5 and you want to bowl spin, learn how to spin it first. And then work on your accuracy, because at least then you'll still be able to beat the bat. I thought he bowled superbly. Gives it a bit of flight, gives it a good rip. It was a terrific option. They had to go to him early, and I thought he was really good.
Got the wickets of Travis Head and Ishan Kishan. Now, Santner bowling just the 1 over. Was that because Klaasen was there?
No. It's the reverse. 2 left-handers up front.
Sure.
So 2 left-handers up front. Willjacks has bowled a great first over. They'll definitely keep bowling him as long as they can. By the time he finishes, you're right. By the time he finishes, and you could have given Santner a couple of overs in yet. Why are you going to give Santner spin when he can, you can give him a fast
when there are enough other options in Bumrah?
They had enough other options.
But what about MI's approach of bowling those slower cutters into the pitch? Smart thinking then.
I haven't seen the numbers. We'll find those out. But I would say from the seamers today, particularly Hardik, Bumrah, I would have thought 50% would have been slow balls.
More than 40 today.
More than 40. There you go. Yeah, I think so. I mean, just off pace into the surface. I would say that will be the blueprint for Hyderabad. That's what they will have looked at. What worked well. It was really tough. You just saw batters hanging, and they couldn't get a grasp on how quickly it was going to come or how slowly it was going to come off the surface. So that will be the blueprint for Hyderabad, but Mumbai know how to bat on it now. They know what's required. It's going to be about running between the wickets, hard, really pushing those 1s, the 2s, making sure you put the bad ball away.
They've used Bumrah differently today, 2 in the power play. Then he bowled the 16th and the 19th. What do you make of how Hardik used him? Would you have preferred Bumrah to bowl 18th and 20th? Or was this okay today?
No, it was fine. I mean, look, as long as he's bowling 2 at the death, it doesn't matter. I mean, 16th, 19th is good enough for me. Look, as far as we are concerned, this is a good, because they have that third option also. I mean, I wouldn't. Chahar, I think, gave away runs at that last stage. I think he went for 20.
Yes.
I think I wouldn't put Chahar ever that late, because once the batters get
21 in the 18th.
So I think Chahar in the 18th is the only thing that stuck out for me. Otherwise, Hardik, Bumrah, if they go, they go, but they are very competent to bowl at the death.
Not a bad outing for Trent bowled either.
Yeah, decent. I thought he was good. There wasn't a lot of swing again today. I mean, Head tried to go after him, came back and bowled. I think his 3rd over was a really good one. After a couple sort of early in the first 10. But I just think all round, even Hardik's first 3 overs were really good.
Brilliant.
I mean, look, he's got collared a couple of times, which can happen in the last over. I thought he manoeuvred his bowlers around. When he lost Karan Sharma, I thought he manoeuvred his bowlers around brilliantly today. He was on it as a captain today. He went for 1 slightly expensive over the last one, and Chahar went for 1. But if you'd have offered him 162 at the toss, he'd have chewed your arm off. Said, give me it now. He'd have taken that any day.
Very much winnable for MI. R&R are out to bat. Ryan Rickleton and Rohit Sharma, who has been subbed in as expected. 163 job should be done.
Yep.
With a little bit of help in favor of MI, the dew comes in as well, so should be on for MI.
Absolutely. I think this is MI's game to win, and I think he's made a very important point. They know how to bat out here. Secondly, I'll tell you, this kind of bowling into the pitch and this is also not Shami's natural, that's not his thing. His thing is seam position and just movement away and away.
Yep.
So this is not his thing. So they'll need bowlers their bowlers like Hardik naturally uses the short ball and uses it. Bumrah is one of the most skilled players on the planet.
Yeah.
So this is not the ideal attack to deliver the kind of ball deliveries that you need on this kind of pitch. But I think they'll try their best, I'm sure.
Pat Cummins did that really well in that.
Pat Cummins will be the key.
In that World Cup final.
He's one of the few that, I mean, it's a tough one to pick up. He really hammers it into the pitch.
Yeah.
I think, I've always been in favour of Cummins bowling an over in the power play at least or two. If they can get through the power play without him bowling, they can use him as an option through the middle, taking pace off rather than going solely to spin.
MI plays simple cricket, don't overthink it.
Yeah, but if they get in trouble, if they lose a couple early, this could be game. We could be in for a sort of a semi-low scoring thriller.
There is a lot of batting depth that MI has. The second innings has already started. Gentlemen, very quickly, power play scores.
51.
57.
60. Have fun. Make sure you come back at the end of it to watch the three of us in action on Voltas presents Cricbuzz Live. Bye-bye.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत
ನಿಲ್ದಾಣದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಹೊರಟಿರುವವರೇ Hyderabad Voltas Express Railway Station Netaji Bhavan.